that's right. You know they coming through and getting heavy. It's time to talk some Dynasty and talk some Debbie. My guys is never short. Time to sit down to let the Degens cook. Ow!
What is up, everybody? This is Dynasty Degens, episode 41. I am Nerdboy Takes, and I'm actually joined by two guys that don't get to join me very often, so I'm pretty excited. I got Dustin to my right. I got Jagger over there to my underneath right-ish. If you want, yeah, we'll just say down there to the right again. What's up, guys? How we doing? I'll start with you, Dustin.
Good.
What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. I got back from vacation on Monday and working this week and then off to the combine next week. So it's going to be a good time.
You got a haircut? Did you get a haircut on vacation or before vacation?
I got it. I mistakenly got it like 2 days before vacation. So all my vacation photos, it's horrible because it was too short. I couldn't get it to stay down. So
I think it is, man. I like it.
Literally yesterday, I finally got it to like style a way I like it. And I was like, well, now it looks good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird that white folks look worse when they get out of the barber. Like that's like this.
Dude, I am not the normal white folk because I look great.
No,
after the
you got the
barbershop.
Travis Kelce, dude. You get.
I get the Travis Kelce. I do. Yeah, I get the Travis Kelce. You're right.
Here's the issue: is you're supposed to go like 2 weeks before you go on vacation. I went like 2 days before, and I got someone new, and he cut it too short. It's like sports clips, so it's like you get whoever's there, and it's just some random guy, and he cut it way too short. And I was like, well, like you can't undo it now, so it is what it is.
I could never go to sports clips, man. Like when I left Arkansas, Oklahoma, I left my barber there, and I haven't got a haircut since. It's been like 6 years, 7 years. Anyway,
I cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair for years.
That is our guest. That's our guest. That is directly below me. This is Linda at Lindelians on Twitter Space. Linda Lyons is somebody that I thought I was calling Linda Lyons for like almost a year and a half. So I'm glad we covered that before I got on the pod. What's up, Linda? How you doing?
Dude, I am in a keeper league with all Lions fans that I got invited because they thought I was a Lions fan because of my Twitter handle. So I promise you are not alone. That's my bad. That's on me.
Yeah, that's a deep lie. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in it for this is like my 4th year.
Oh man.
It's ridiculous. I just stayed. I was like, oh
yeah.
But so like this year when the Lions were doing good, I was like, I'm happy for all of you. This is so much fun. I'm like kind of a part of it.
It's like it's a fantasy football equivalent of like that black dude who went to like the wrong Thanksgiving to that old lady's house. He's just
keeps going.
I love
dude.
That story.
Dude's definitely there's something, right? Though, like they're more than just like friends now. Am I wrong? Like there's something more to that story, or am I the only one that thinks that?
No, he definitely goes and they like keep in contact throughout the year. I know that.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, I think.
Oh, you think they're
like
more
anti? I don't. I think. Are you being yucky?
I think they're like, yeah, I think they're like not yucky, but
like they're an item.
They're an item.
Yeah, something's going on, man.
I mean, her husband just died like a year ago, so.
Amen.
There's a need.
No.
There's a need.
Maybe.
All right.
If it comes out that that's true, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah. All right, we're mocking today, so I'm gonna switch right over to that. We are doing wide receiver mocks. We are just trying to figure out where the value is, talking about the shifts, talking about like the recency bias, all that good stuff. We did quarterbacks last time. I want to do wide receivers because, there's some guys. I want to do it with rookies as well. I think this is going to be fun to see where the rookies line up and then also where Puka hits and just to see where everyone, within the range of the end of dynasty year brain goes and what we can look forward to in the offseason as far as where we can get value. So I'm going to fire that baby up. Let me get in there.
Sleeper handles Lindelians too. I just really committed.
You're just Linda Lyons everywhere.
I love it. I'm gonna go, Linda. You're 101.
One thing about me, I commit to a bit, man.
I'm 102.
I'm
Jagger's
ready.
103, and then Dustin's 104. We're going snake draft.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I am. Boom. There's sound on, so I think that was an issue last time.
Okay, I
Um,
just like to put it out
right, I'm
into
gonna-
the ether that I'm not very good at Dynasty, but I do know that Justin Jefferson's still right up there at 101. So I feel okay about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that feels
After
good.
this, it goes. We're going
There's
way off
spice.
the off the rails after this, but that felt good.
Yeah, that feels still right. So
I was really hoping CD Lamb would fall to me at 4, but
Oh shit,
man.
it's on me. Okay.
You don't know me. Yeah. Yeah. So we went Justin Jefferson 1, CD Lamb. I went 102. Man, the move for me to have CD over Chase has been like an internal struggle for the last year. And that's where I'm at. I think I'm going CD over Chase personally, based off of the last 2 years of production. I think it feels good to me.
yeah, I've had CD and Chase and Jefferson in the tier together for a while now. And my biggest question with Chase was what happens if T. Higgins leaves? And it sounds like he might get franchise tagged. So he's still there. I'm not worried about Tyler Boyd leaving, affecting his productivity. But if Higgins would have left, I think Chase would have seen a lot more top coverage and would have been a little harder for him to get the targets. And with Jefferson, it was always the QB issue, but I think that'll be resolved fairly quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
See, right here with this pick, you could tell that I am a dynasty guy and an ageist dynasty guy because there's like probably a right answer and I don't give a shit. So-
I don't hate that.
no, like AJ Brown or Puka, that makes sense. So we got the rookies. Okay, we're here.
I was thinking AJ Brown or
I gotta go.
Marvin Harrison
2 in a
Jr.
row.
Where Jagger, would you go Marvin Harrison Jr. or AJ Brown straight up? Like, would you trade the 102 for AJ Brown, or would you prefer to keep that 102? I mean, even taking the pick value away from that.
There's a caveat. If I knew that he was going to be a Cardinal, I would. If that makes sense. Like basically whoever gets drafted, if the Cardinals could do some crazy shit and like not get a generational wide receiver. We've seen it several times from the same franchise. But I do think that if Malik Neighbors goes, then I mean either way, Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr., whoever's a Cardinal, I will put over AJ Brown. Let's put it that way. Because I think they can get AJ Brown production in that offense. So. It's on me.
I hate you, Mike.
I know, man. I know.
My issue with Harrison is that at this point, since we don't know where he's going to go, there's too many uncertainties. Like if he goes to the Patriots and the Patriots sign like Gardner Minshew, I don't want anything to do with Marvin Harrison.
Oh
like,
my goodness, dude.
You just killed me and Mike. That
would be the worst case scenario I've ever heard of in my life.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the possibility that's out there.
Is that a possibility that they're going for Gardner Minshew? Did you just throw that?
If they take Marvin Harrison at the top of the draft, what are they going to do at quarterback? They're not going to roll with Mac Jones.
Ryan Tannehill, I think would even be.
No, I'd be upset. You know them defensive
I would be
coaches,
too,
man. They're like
Ryan Tannehill.
My defense can save us through anything. You know, my defense could have won us Nam. You know, it's just like...
Tank Dell, baby. I feel like Blue Chip was going Tank Dell, if not. But to like put this out there, like Olave, Waddle, Devonta Smith still on.
Yeah,
I'm out on Devonta Smith.
Going back,
so
is Waddle dead? I'm gonna go.
Why
Waddle
the Olave fall? I like Olave a lot more than you guys. I think.
I like Olave.
I like Olave. Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
Well,
I would take Olave over Pittman and Dell, and Pittman's in a better situation. Like again, it's just I like guys who are just good no matter what. And even though that Chris Olave's got a Derek Carr shaped weight around his ankles, you know, I still think in 2 years we're going to be saying Olave's better than Pittman, and you should have bought Olave when you could. So
yeah, I think it's a toss-up. I prefer the situation for Pittman over Olave. That Derek Carr weight is heavy, and there's no real hope for them to get out from under it this year or maybe even next year. So
This tier is awful, but I think I
I
have to
love
go.
it still. Yeah.
You still love it?
Yeah. Oh wow, DJ Moore. I did not expect that. See,
Yeah. I think DJ Moore's catching passes from Caleb Williams this year. I mean, that's.
I don't care.
I'm
I don't care.
Yeah.
It could
Okay.
be Drake May.
If
It
Caleb
could be
Williams
Justin
releases-
Fields.
If Caleb Williams gets anything behind that fucking line of scrimmage, the dude that holds onto the ball too long behind a
It's true.
atrocious line of
I mean,
scrimmage, that's
but he
terrifying.
did it with Justin Fields, and I think if it.
Yeah, I
nothing
don't
else, it's
disagree
like,
with
hey,
DJ Moore necessarily.
I think it's like
Just-
a lateral.
I just
move,
don't know.
If anything.
Yeah. If that offensive
You
line
hate
is still
Caleb
as bad as it is, me?
No, Dustin absolutely despises
Oh,
Caleb Williams.
You got some.
Oh,
I don't
really?
I don't despise Caleb Williams. I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah,
That's
all right.
Well, we
You're
beat him in
saying that,
Stillwater.
you know-
That's all I care about.
I think you
People
said he was a
watch the
bust,
show.
though. Correct?
Like,
I did say I think he's going to be a bust. Yes, I agree
Yeah,
with. I
okay.
will say that.
He could be. I'm not saying it. Like people think there's a non-zero chance, and I think that's dumb. as-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a non-zero.
Oh.
I think there's a higher than people give it a chance. Like people are saying there's no chance, and I'm saying it's 30% he's a bust. And depending on landing spot, it could be higher. This is my dilemma here.
See, I feel like this draft wasn't long enough because, like, I'm like, oh wow,
There's
like,
there's a lot. I know. I
Yeah.
assumed that this was going to be enough for us to get a chunk out of, but there's still good amount of guys that I would probably be going for.
I mean,
Yeah.
Drake London, Flowers, Addison. Like, it doesn't give to like I don't give a shit until probably Jahan Dotson. So really, there's like 2 more rounds in us.
Yeah, my dilemma here is Drake London or JSN, and which do I think has the higher long-term value?
That's wild. You're a wild one, Dustin.
I
like
am,
it.
man.
Wait, what is it between Drake
JS
London and JSN?
JSN. I worry about who's going to be the quarterback in Atlanta for Drake London, and still
And you
with
don't worry
Bijan.
about it in Seattle. Like, I mean, Geno is he's all right, and it's a beautiful story, and we'll talk about it in a 30 for 30 in 10 years. But he's like still kind of Geno Smith, you know.
He's still decent, right? And if Tyler Lockett is a cap casualty, I think that opens up a ton of targets for JSN.
Mhm.
I think right, you're looking at Geno Smith this year, and then probably a rookie, or you're looking at Atlanta with probably a rookie this year, and then so I'll take one more year of a known product in Geno Smith versus an unknown and a rookie. I don't think Atlanta's going to trade for like Justin Fields or sign Kirk Cousins or that kind of nonsense.
No, I feel like Atlanta
all?
has that. I think they might go for Justin Fields. They might make a play for Justin Fields.
They might, but
You think they
Raheem
can
Morris
actually
has
just stand-
one job. His one job at this point. Like he already did it. He's like, I'm gonna get an offensive coordinator I'm gonna pick something off Sean McVay or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me an offensive coordinator. All he has to do is not fuck up quarterback. And by not fuck up, he could get Russell Wilson. I mean, you want to talk about Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew, much better player than Desmond Ritter.
Yes.
Like the bar for his success and like that whole team is
hell.
incredibly. Yeah. Like, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's low.
the bar is very low for that team. I completely agree.
Dude, I mean, he doesn't. You're right. He doesn't have to do anything. Like he really like
No.
has to. He can get. You don't think he gets like a Russ Wilson or trades for Justin Fields? Like a Justin Fields is like what, a second rounder now? Like what
Yeah,
is he
he-
worth?
Justin Fields is worth a first, I think.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think so.
like
But
yeah.
can you get a first for Justin Fields right now, or do you think they just like they're gonna just move him because they'd rather not have the quarterback controversy, whatever that might be? But like
They said they're going to
Yeah.
announce it at the combine, or they're going to make some sort of statement at the combine. So we'll see. If I'm Chicago, I've always said from the get-go, I think Chicago should trade Justin Fields and the 101, trade both of them, move back. You can still get a good quarterback in the draft and come away with a haul of picks and players.
Okay, so who would you want to see land there if like they end up trading the 101 and Justin Fields?
If you trade the 101, let's say you could trade back to theoretically the 15 range with, one of those teams. You could pick up 15, a first next year and a second. You could get a Michael Penix. You could get a JJ McCarthy. You could get that third guy off the board, a Jaden Daniels, and pass on Caleb Williams and Drake May. It depends on what your flavor is, but you can get the third or fourth best guy in the teens, pick up a teen pick, a first and second for 101, and then you can trade Justin Fields first. You could theoretically walk out of there with, or you take quarterback at 8, like they still have 8, so you could walk out of this draft with theoretically 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, and plus 2 future first-round picks if you do it right. It's in the realm of possibilities. They could do it. They won't because they're stupid and they're the Bears, but they could.
Dude,
I think that would be crazy. Like, if you're not going to get a blue chip quarterback, don't get one, because like I mean, to me, you're like, yeah, technically that is an option. Like, if someone gives you a sandwich, you can eat it, you can give it away, you could put it in the trash. An option that is out there, but you probably won't, is like I don't know, like shoving it up your ass. Like, technically that is an option, but you're not gonna like do that. Like, I'm not trying to crap all over your take.
No, but if let's say they trade they could trade with Atlanta at 8.
Doug, what is going on right now?
But let's say they traded with Atlanta, they traded 101 for 108, a first next year and a second from Atlanta, and then they have 8 and 9. They take a quarterback at 8 and a offensive lineman at 9, and then you trade Justin Fields and get, let's say you trade him to Vegas at 13. Then you have 9, 8, and 13. That's pretty darn good.
Because, like, I mean,
Dude, you got to build it out and post it on Twitter and say who says no. That's the only way to know.
That's the only way to do it.
If
it's only. She's right.
Yeah, that's how you. That's how. We could clip this part of the pod and drop it. And says, who says no?
Who says no?
I feel like
do one of these
Dynasty
emojis. Who says no?
Or
I have Dynasty Break. I feel like you could take the 101 and Justin Fields and trade it for fucking Patrick Mahomes. Like, I feel like that's
it. Just
like,
feels
if you're gonna go that route, would you do that? Like, if you were whatever the Chiefs, would you trade Patrick
for
Mahomes
Caleb Williams and Justin Fields, essentially?
Yeah.
Because like that's the only thing that would make. It's like, all right, we're gonna take your one generational, could be GOAT, depending on how old you are, quarterback, for 2 people who might be good. That's just like to me, it's just like, and I love Justin Fields.
I'm gonna take this yacht and buy a pontoon.
But the idea of it, I feel like, dude, you have the 101 and Justin Fields, and I feel like you could take those together and just go get like a stallion.
You can't do it on the same team because the same team doesn't want Justin Fields and the 101. It has to be 2 separate trades.
Like, they're fluid with it. They're fluid,
Yeah.
It doesn't play Superflex in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to me, we're getting into Madden and like weird trade scenarios. Because, like, here's one more sandwich analogy. You're like, wow, I've got this grinder. I have this fucking behemoth that
Doug, you got to eat more before you get on the pod.
Took way too much time to make on Instagram or TikTok. Like, I'm talking about a beautiful sandwich, like a good center cut. Like, I will trade you this, and I will give you 2 sandwiches. Here's the kicker: one or both of them might have poop in it. Maybe none of them.
you just don't know.
No.
Who says no?
I know you watch that guy on TikTok that makes this fucking sandwiches.
You know exactly who I'm talking about, Linda.
Yeah. Do you need to take a break for a sandwich?
No, I am getting sweaty.
The guy that slices them and they're
We'll see. I think it's going to be crazy. I think they should hold on.
All right, no more sandwich analogy.
They can trade. Okay. They'll trade one or the other, and I think they'll be fine. I don't know who's a buyer for Justin Fields for a first-round pick right now.
We got way off the rails, though. Back to wide receivers.
I like that, though. I like the off the rails. I thought that was great, man. I was really into that, actually. I want to do another quarterback show and talk 101.
Talk poop sandwich.
I didn't know Dustin had all these wild ideas, man. I love it.
Dude,
like, he's always
Dustin
quiet.
is a madman. No, he's a madman. Like, if you get him on a pod, like, it's just madness, dude. He just like, you don't know what's cooking in that little dome of his, man.
It's like you're kind of like that B movie, whatever meme, where like the weird lady who's dating a bee like says some crazy thing and the guy turns around like, what? Like, because like technically that's right, but like
technically it's right, but it shouldn't be right. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. I'm looking at this board, right? So we got Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and then Chase. That's the first tier right there. Where's everybody on those three guys? Obviously, Justin Jefferson is still one, right? Is anybody CD over Chase besides me?
I don't care enough, and
Yeah,
I mean
I
that
don't
in the
think it
best
matters.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's
like
fair.
tomorrow I may like Jamar Chase more. A slight breeze may change, and I like CeeDee Lamb. Like I think all three of these players are great. I think they're all great, and I'm not gonna obsess over which one's the best. Like if
that's off-season content, though. I need you to
I was thinking
obsess
about
over it. I
getting in a
need you to
fight
just
about it
stress out about
on
it.
Twitter. So
If I had to
let's
pick
fight about
one
it
right
later on
now,
Twitter. Let's get in a real fight.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh
let's
let's
fight.
do it. Let's do
This
it
is
for
a
the
pre-planned
content.
fight right now.
Yeah.
You meet
I'm
me on the Twitter spheres.
I'm a low risk guy. So if I had to pick one right now, I'm picking CeeDee Lamb over both Chase and Jefferson.
And over Jefferson too. All
Until
right.
we know the quarterback,
What
I can't. That's too much
does
risk.
that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think, whatever. Kirk Cousins.
I mean,
isn't
seen
going
some
anywhere.
fucking idiots throw the ball to Justin Jefferson, so I'm not that worried about it.
True.
Yeah.
Like we've seen both Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson catch passes from guys that should be bagging groceries. So I don't feel that I'm not like super concerned about either's quarterback situation. They're both really elite, in my opinion.
I smell what you're cooking.
Let's put it this way: like in a vacuum, let's say that we're picking. No one has a team yet. We're on Madden and we're doing a fantasy draft. I think CeeDee Lamb is the third one in this option.
Yeah, I agree. Athleticism, yes.
Yeah, but because he's the one who he's a guy who has a pool at his house, so that bumps him up the rankings. Where my other friends, they don't have a pool. So
yet they may be getting a pool this summer, but they don't have one yet. But they don't have one yet. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, exactly.
It
might be above ground,
and
but it could be.
sandwiches.
It could.
What else is coming from you, man?
I don't know.
What is next? I love it. All right. So Dustin went Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Linda went AJ Brown. And
No,
then,
I went Tyreek next.
Oh wait. Okay, my bad. I'm going. Yep. Yeah. So you went Tyreek, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Man, I think I can't even get behind Tyreek, even though he is a production monster. I can't get behind him up there. Like that far up there. And I think that's my problem every year with Tyreek Hill is like I always can never get behind putting him up there as like a 30-year-old wide receiver, but he belongs there, right? Like he's that guy. He should be there, even in Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, you're still gonna get 2 more years, 3 more years out of him, like unless he burns his other house down or something. I don't see where he's going anywhere. So
yeah,
I mean, the fact that he had 13 touchdowns, almost 1,800 yards in 16 games, like you can't knock that production. Now you could go with youth and Garrett Wilson, but again, question marks of who's throwing Garrett Wilson the ball next year after Aaron Rodgers is done, or next year or this year if Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to come back and just like eats a weird sandwich and decide
this year.
Yeah, we don't know. I just, especially with pairing him with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
We do know who threw the ball to Garrett Wilson this year. It was.
I mean, I don't think I could name all of them.
I know Tim Boyle threw a pass to him. Definitely.
Tim Boyle.
I just know my boy Trevor Siemian was tossing him at the end.
Yeah.
I got a Trevor Siemian jersey. It was my very first jersey.
Oof.
That's my boy.
I don't think I could have taken Tyreek Hill on his own just with the age, but having him with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm okay taking the age, considering I got Amon-Ra St. Brown before that.
Oh, okay, see now you're talking like startup.
Building.
Strategy.
He's building.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a whole other different. Because I said the same thing. Like I was thinking literally the same thing. Because like I would take Tyreek Hill if I'm thinking whatever happens, I'm gonna win. But probably what ends up happening with my builds, and I've done a couple of builds and I've done a couple of startups, is like Sam Laporta is going in that Tyreek Hill range and Trey McBride. I'm clicking that button every time. That's a whole other different thing though. That doesn't count. It's just wide receivers only. Looking at mine, like I think I have definitely the riskiest. Let's say you're going into a fantasy season and you can roll out 5 of these wide receivers. I have the riskiest lineup. Yeah. Like mine could be phenomenal, but I got Derek Carr, Jalen Hurts number 2, but he's still pretty good. We don't know where Malik Neighbors is going to play. Could be Daniel Jones. Is Daniel Jones garbage? I don't know. He's definitely not good. So
He may or may not have poop in his sandwich. We don't know.
yeah, like
I think we're
Garrett Wilson.
pretty sure on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Man, I still have a glimmer of hope, man. I feel like I'm still chasing that 2022 season where
Stop it.
dude, I'm chasing it, man. I'm not saying
Stop
that he's
it.
going to be good, but I think we saw a ceiling there. I want that. I need that. Give me that. Give me that.
look,
We
well,
don't
let's
have to
just
pay
say with
for it,
Daniel
so,
Jones,
I mean,
he's like he's a Jared Goff, but like if you take his video game sliders and you take away from passing and then put just a smidge to rushing, and that costs a lot on Madden if you've ever played,
Yep.
like that's what you've done. Meaning that, like again, I've used the term orchid quarterback, meaning that they're like an orchid. Sure, they can be beautiful, but your house has to be fucking perfect. You have to have the exact light. You need to have a humidifier. Everything has to be perfection for him to succeed. And that's where we're at with Daniel Jones. With Jared Goff, he's got a good house. He's got the sunroom, everything like that. And he's blooming. He's flourishing. He's better at passing the ball. Let's just put it that way. Daniel Jones isn't there yet. And I don't know if Brian Daboll is a good coach or not. I don't like I think he's a good play caller, but I don't know if he's a good head coach yet.
Yeah.
That's fair. I like Linda's entire squad actually, because we're talking about AJ Brown. So AJ Brown has been sliding everywhere. Like all the dynasty mocks, all the startups that I've done, he's like in the back end of the second, early third. And that seems fucking crazy to me. Like, I mean, I know that we saw Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously come up, but why are we so sour on AJ Brown nowadays? Like, what is the reasoning? Because of the way that he finished, or what's going on with that?
that's usually why I sour on men. But
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
So
AJ Brown last
was so
year.
good.
Listen, right back to it. Just go right back in. AJ Brown last year, I feel like everybody got like way high on him, and then that offense as a whole took I think we can all agree, a pretty big step back based on just the kicker stats alone, which is how I look at a season. It clearly took a step. We're not near as efficient this year. And so we had these insane expectations last year. And then this year it was like still really good, but it didn't meet these like insane expectations we set up for him. And then they fall. And then you do it. That's when you make your move. That's the best window. Is high expectations. Yeah. And just like they'll just barely miss it and you can move it on that.
And I do think there's some fatigue with him, like this possible trade rumors. Like, is he unhappy? Is he being a diva wide receiver? I think that's just crept into some people's minds. It's just soured him just enough where he's fallen a little bit.
Yeah, because
I want my wide receivers to be a diva.
I see Puka go in front of him in startups all the time. And it's like, that's where people are at? You going Puka over AJ Brown?
I was apprehensive to do Puka over Olave, and I did it. But Puka was great this year, and it was very fun. But like, we're talking about a ton of targets. He had some of the room missing while he was getting those targets. Matthew Stafford is fantastic, but also getting older. Yeah. So I love Puka, and I love his story, but he does make me a little nervous. I still pull the James Puka Nacua, and I adore him, but it does. There's some question marks that I think, I don't know. I prefer consistency in like 1 year of like, whoa, is great. But we've seen that before and then it not necessarily.
Yeah. If I'm throwing a second round startup pick on somebody, I want safety. I want like that. I need to be 100% positive. This dude's going to smash this year. Like that's like my first 3 picks. Like I need that like strong floor. And then after that, I don't care. I'll just like whatever, shit sandwiches, whatever it is, I'll take it. But like to start, I think Puka's. I passed on Puka a million times. I can't do it. Don't know. Yeah, whatever's going on Jagger's head, man. I love it.
No, it's just like people don't talk enough about Matt Stafford. Like he played great. It's not him as a player, but like he's old as shit. Like he's pretty old, man. Like, and he's like. he's not been the healthiest guy. He's not on that TB12 diet. Let's put it that way. So like, I just think that we don't bake that into the price enough for Puka.
Yeah, and they don't have a solid backup. Like, are they going to re-sign Carson Wentz? Stetson Bennett can't stay out of rehab or wherever he is. So if Stafford goes, like, one injury, Stafford could straight up just retire mid-season. Like, his wife is very adamant that she's, very much concerned about concussions and his long-term health. So one injury like that could just be, he could be done. Like, he could be done week 1. Like, he could just be retired and be out. And then we're stuck with, he could pull an Andrew Luck and retire like the 3rd week of preseason, and then the Rams are sunk because they can't get anybody else to replace him.
Yeah, if I'm the Rams, I'm going defense 1st round and then hoping that Michael Pratt falls to me. Like, I think Michael Pratt is an early 2nd rounder, could be a 3rd rounder. I could be wrong as fuck because, I'm not in the room. Yeah, who knows? But like, I would get someone I'd get someone like that or something to sit behind him and prepare for the future without having to overpay or something. Jordan Levitt. But again, it's just concerning. Again, it's not about Puka as a player or person, because you know how people get when you talk about Kyron Williams or Puka, they'll come after your family or basically. Yep. So
right. I think the Rams tried to do that with Stetson Bennett, like draft someone who had some winning culture in college, and then obviously Stetson Bennett just can't get his stuff together. So
I think they need to make it a little bit more of a priority.
Nobody was like, we're going to draft Van Wilder and then we're going to just see what he does. And the dude that's on his 7th year of college, like, let's just bring him to the NFL and see if he transfers. He didn't want to leave, dude. He probably just went right back to college. That's probably where he's been. He's been like, I'm going back to the frat parties, man. I'm going to like enjoy myself a little bit. So
where you're a god,
people love
like, he's like
there.
a god on campus.
Yeah.
And when he got asked last year at the combine about his like off the field issues, he was like, "Yes, I'm sorry." Then had like a noticeable eye roll, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're totally not sorry at all. You're just an a-hole." So,
dude, just think about this. So Stetson Bennett, he gets drafted, right? And then he goes back and then goes to bed in his dorm room. Like, that's exactly what happened on draft night. He went and got drafted, and he went back to the RA and was like, "I'm going back to sleep in the dorm room," because that dude never left college.
And then got up 2 hours later and went on partied. So
I know. All right. So we saw the first 2 rounds. AJ Brown finished that off. Then we saw Puka go 301. Brandon Ayuk. So I went Ayuk 302. Malik Neighbors 303. And then Michael Pittman 304. Anything stick out in this round to you, Dustin? Anything's like
the Ayuk pick is who I wanted at 304. Like, I wanted him to fall there. I think there's questions of if they trade him and what that situation looks like. So I thought maybe he'd fall. I wasn't real confident in the Pittman pick, but he's in a good situation. We have no production. I think with Richardson coming back, Neighbors is the interesting one. I'm always just worried of where those guys are going to land right now. Like, talent wise, he's great, but he could go to a crappy situation and then you're sunk. So.
Straight up, again, guys, like, if you hear my fantasy strategy, I'll tell you what you like should do, but what I do is like, I want a piece of the premium talent of rookies, so I'm a risk it for the biscuit type guy when it comes to all that. So
yeah, you want a little taste. I mean Neighbors and Harrison here are kind of like 1A 1B, and it's all down the landing spot for both these guys, but definitely like where I go. Like if Marvin Harrison lands on the Patriots and then Neighbors lands on the Chargers, like I'm going Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison all day. And
easily,
that's just kind of how it goes.
It's not even a question. And another thing that this is going to sound like a hot take. I don't know. Jason's value holding strong could change this for me in Dynasty, but I expect Brian Thomas or Troy Franklin, one of their values, to hop one of the other two, because they're down there with the Bills. They're down there. The Rams could take a wide receiver again. The Chiefs need a wide receiver bad. So Troy Franklin went on DJ's mock to the Chiefs again. So like, we could be talking about Troy Franklin being a top 6 or 7 dynasty asset sooner than later. And I don't think that's crazy to think. So,
Yeah, and that's where I think the landing spot matters. Like looking at last year, I had Michael Mayer as the better tight end, but I had Detroit as the best landing spot for a tight end. Samuel Porter was there, so he jumped up for me, right? Like Michael Mayers, I thought was the more talented guy, but bad situation. So, right, I think you're right. If Neighbors goes to a better situation, Arizona, the Chargers, whoever goes to New England, I'm probably going to be out on because I just don't, unless they can somehow get a good quarterback too. But I don't think that's going to happen.
If I don't know, I saw Matt Miller say that the Patriots to skip a quarterback for a dumbass reason today, and it got me hot today. Like I was like, why would we not try to get a piece of these QBs to like risk it for maybe something next year? But anyway, we're essentially saying that, like, again, going back to like Troy Franklin and Brian Thomas or whoever the wide receiver 4 is for the NFL, like they're going to friend's house with pools, and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors are going to the friend's house whose mom smokes cigarettes inside. So, it's just.
Dog, that's so unfortunate because like we all had those friends, right? We all we had that friend, right? Like,
hold your breath, honey.
Growing up.
I had the cigarette mom.
I mean,
I was that friend.
One of us had that mom. Yeah. I mean,
I had the friend who didn't have a pool, but he's like, we got a really cool sprinkler and a bunch of water balloons. I'm like, not the same. Like, not the same.
Plot twist. I was the friend that had the pool, but my mom smoked cigarettes inside.
There's an NFL comp for that. I'm gonna come up with it by the end of today.
I think the only, because like again, we're in like the premium range, like the only ones where I like have to even like, and when I mean ask a question, it's like asking like, okay, I wouldn't do that, but why would you? And I'm not really judging you. I just want to know where your head's at. Is like Jalen Waddle. That's probably where he's supposed to go. I don't know why I can't click the button on Jalen Waddle. I don't know what it is. It's not rational for me because everybody knows I don't give a shit about numbers. I don't read, but like he's an objectively good player. He's in a good offense. I do know football or whatever. And like, couldn't be in a better scheme. So I just feels weird. Like, I think he's in that Devontae Smith range where like at least I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I'm a Tua hater. I don't know what the opposite of Tuanon is, but that's what I am. Is it a twoke? I'm woke.
I mean, Waddle has like, I think last year Waddle was awful, dude. I mean, not like in a production standpoint, but like owning him in Dynasty was awful, dude. It was like the worst feeling ever. I don't think Waddle finished the game like towards the end of the year. Like I think he had left every game. Like for the last 5 weeks in a row or 6 weeks in a row. And you can never depend on Waddle.
No, it's always the speedy guys too. And it's like, and I'm not a doctor, obviously, but like, I'm pretty sure like they literally move so fast. They're like tearing muscles and stuff like that. And again, this is just a theory. Go talk to people with like PDT in their handle or whatever the acronym is for I know shit about injuries.
Don't do it.
No, you really shouldn't. That's like, if you know, you know.
They will all tell you something different.
Yeah.
It's either Achilles or his heart is bleeding. We're not sure.
Or they'll give you some cream to help you with your hangover, right? Like then that what they do.
Yeah. So
I think for me, those guys, it's the Devonta Smith, the Jalen Waddles, in some extent T. Higgins. They're good, but they lack that high end upside. Like they're never getting 25, 30 points. Like if you look at Waddle, it's always 14, 15, 16 points, like 13 to 16 range. Same thing with Devonta Smith. They don't have those boom games that people want. So you're like, oh, he's good, but he's always going to be at best a 1B on a team, and you're never going to get those high end upside. So I think that's why we see those guys fall. I just don't know, like, can Waddle be that without Tyreek? Like, can he have those boom games where he's scoring 25 points, where he's a weak winner for you, where these other guys are, and he's just not.
Yeah, I think Devontae's a better player than Waddle too. So like, I'd probably pick him over Waddle. And but again, this is splitting hairs here. They're in the same bucket. But another thing too, it's kind of like you love Waddle and Smith as like your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Yep.
But if you're leaving a draft as their wide receiver 1, you're like, I hope my running back survive. You know.
Yeah, that's where you're like, I got Travis Kelce. I hope he's still the tight end 1 and puts up 40 more points than the next guy or tight end 1.
Yeah.
But right, even if you look at Pittman, like Pittman's in that same boat where he's scoring 13 to 16 points every week. I just think there's more upside with Anthony Richardson coming back. For me, that's the tier breaker. Ayuk is that end of that second tier, and then Neighbors Pittman is that next tier down where it's Neighbors Pittman, Olave, Waddle, those guys, Devonta Smith, Nico Collins.
Let's talk about who's not on the board. DK Metcalf. How?
Yo, I'm gonna talk about
fallen.
these guys. I want
DK
to do
Metcalf, T. Higgins,
a little spice, a little keep trade cut.
All right.
Do I pull that off? You guys want to do a little keep trade cut?
Yeah, I love the most
I'm
useful, useless
so
tool.
bad at this game. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're going. What's this go down
Just
the
so
line?
we know,
we're gonna
every
go.
time I get on that page, I'm fucking it up.
I mess it up just for the funs of it.
I feel like some of it's impossible. They put like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then they're like, oh, like here's Mitch Trubisky, and I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on with this?
I just try.
I never get any good ones. It's always like, yeah, they're always like, who do you like? Josh Kelly, an old Popeyes biscuit, or like Olamedius, Zacchaeus. It's like I don't care about any of this shit.
You're keeping the biscuit, right?
Do I have honey for the biscuit?
Like, I feel
yeah, I got butter. I can bring it back.
Yeah, you can bring it back. Yeah, toast that thing up, put it in the microwave, whatever you got to do. All right, so keep trade cut. Drake London, DK Metcalf, or T. Higgins. Dustin.
DK.
I'm keeping T. Higgins, trading DK, and cutting Drake London.
Okay. Anybody way off of that?
I'm keeping Drake London. I have him ahead because he is a wide receiver 1. He just needs again that hellish bar. He just needs just a little bit more.
What about you, Linda? How do you feel about those 3 guys?
I'm a pretty big Drake London fan.
Yes.
Because I just think it's there. It has to like you said, it's just like we're missing one ingredient, just a touch of salt, and Drake London will come to life. That's what I believe. So
I mean,
man, I'm probably cutting DK Metcalf. I know that's a hot take. I've never been a big DK Metcalf fan, even when he was in his like. People loved him like 3 years ago when I like first got into Dynasty. DK Metcalf was like the wide receiver 4, and it just always feels like he misses ADP. And obviously, ADP doesn't matter as much in Dynasty, but that's how my brain works.
Now you're right though. Like DK Metcalf's another one where I'm like, man, is he a fun wide receiver too on a Dynasty team?
Yeah.
But when people were like I get a roster, it's like you got DK as your wide receiver 1. I'm like, oh cool, I'm in purgatory where I can't trade up out of that tier, and I don't ever feel like I get enough try to trade down. Like DK Metcalf is probably my least favorite player to roster because like again, I drafted him in best ball. Because I'm like, fuck yeah, I don't got to worry about when it's DK Metcalf week,
Whenever it is, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But like, I don't like him in redraft, especially in redraft. Like, I can't even trade out of that shit in redraft, So.
I feel like DK Metcalf and T. Higgins are the same exact player. Like when it comes to fantasy production, am I wrong on that? Like when it comes to like your team build, like you don't want them as your wide receiver 1. You feel like you can never get adequate value for them, and you never know what week they're going to pop because it's always like, and then Higgins, you got to add into the fact that he's probably going to be injured. He's a game time decision every goddamn game, dude. He is like you don't know what's happening with him. He might not even play the whole game, but like he is always playing, maybe not playing.
I cursed out Zach. What the hell is the coach's name? Zach Taylor on Twitter. After that, he was like, he's gonna play, and then he played one snap, and then didn't play the rest of the game. And I was like, what the fuck? We'll fight. Tell me where. And some Barstool podcast read it out loud, and then everybody was like, flock to it. And I'm like, oh no, I don't. That was just for like my friends. Stoolies coming to shit. Please. You're not welcome here.
Yeah. You don't
Did
want
you
stories
guys-
after you.
Did you guys know that Zach Taylor's sister is like a multi-time gold medalist in the Paralympic Games
No.
Nope.
or the
did
Special
not
Olympics?
know
One of
that.
the two. I think it's Special
I
Olympics.
did
He's
not
like
know
a 4 or 5 time gold medal winner.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact.
All right. You don't want to fight. You don't want to fight somebody.
Competitive ass family.
I can.
They are
competitive.
super
Yeah,
competitive.
never mind. I take it back. Your sister will whoop my ass. So exactly. Mark anybody you want as questionable.
I'm gonna throw this one out there. So Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, or Debo Samuel.
You did it for me. I'd keep Zay Flowers, trade Jordan Addison. I'd risk it for the biscuit. I know he's going through some shit right now. And then
Yeah, he got cleared.
oh, it's fine. There's nothing.
Yeah,
nothing
they dropped their investigation on Zay
Yeah,
Flowers
that's
today.
today.
Oh fuck. Let me dance for a little bit. And then what was the third one? I forgot.
Debo.
Debo. Oh, I'm cutting
Debo.
Debo.
I'm cutting Jordan Addison. Hard,
Oh, wow.
fast, and quick.
You don't like Addison either.
I do
forgot,
not like
like,
Addison. If I never
all
have
these,
to talk to Jordan,
all these
if
things
I
are coming back to me.
if I never have to talk to Jordan Addison again, my life will be better.
Is it because you interviewed him and you just didn't like his
Multiple times.
style, the way he spoke, the way he acted?
Can we cut this out of the pod? He is dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, he's just. It was tough. It was tough talking to him. It was like, I was like, "Hey, do you play fantasy football?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Fantasy football." He's like, "You mean like a game?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like Madden? And I was like, "Sure." But now Zay Flowers, on the other hand, I will go to bat for Zay Flowers all day. He is the most infectious person you meet. Like his smile, his energy is off the wall. Like you cannot meet Zay Flowers and not love him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I adore Zay Flowers and I drafted him all over the place this year. Does Baltimore go back to the barrel on wide receivers though? Because they need to, right? I feel like Baltimore needs to. And that makes me a little bit nervous about Zay Flowers. Not enough to like fade him by any means, but like it does give me pause.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that they can run. I think they actually did sign Aguilar to another decent deal. I think they signed him to a 2-year deal or something.
Yeah, 1 year. It was 1 year, $3.7 million. I think. I think they got to bring in some talent.
Wide receiver too. Dude. That's wide receiver too, right there, baby. They could run like a 2 tight end set with Andrews.
I know they got Mark Andrews, but
that team alone with running both.
I still think you need another wide receiver.
It's like a hybrid. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Odell's not coming back.
I kind of forget that Likely is there.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. All right.
Yeah. Let's do one more and then we're gonna probably sign off here in a little bit. All right, so Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, or Mike Evans? I'm gonna go.
Don't do me first. I really like old guys. Damn it.
I'm gonna go Jagger. I'm gonna go Dustin.
I will take. I'll keep Mike Evans. Trade Devontae Adams. Cut Cooper Kupp. That sounds crazy to me, but I think that's where I'm gonna have to go.
Someone's got to get cut. I think I would cut Cooper Kupp in this scenario too, because of the Matt Stafford effect.
The age and the injuries to me are what does it for me to cut Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Matt Stafford is like one hit away from never playing football again. Yeah. He's just like is so close. You know what I mean? Like if Matt Stafford like tears an ACL, he's done.
He's done.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot of quarterbacks in that range. Like obviously like Kirk Cousins gets injured again, like Aaron Rodgers, but like anybody in that age range like isn't coming back. Aaron Rodgers is not a great example, but like, you know, he swam with dolphins and he came back and he's good. And yeah, I know, but
pretty sure
I gotta cut Cooper.
Listen to dolphins having sex. All right, sorry.
No, you're good. Talking about continue.
Dude, what?
That's what Aaron Rodgers said. Aaron Rodgers said that he listened to dolphins mating in order to like get better I don't know. I've done a lot of drugs too, man, but I've never been dolphins mating. That's for sure.
That's some like
answer.
that's some Twitter doctor stuff right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, to all those guys with
Hey man,
DPT.
the dude was never ready for his Achilles. Like he was never coming back. You know what I mean?
No.
Like he was never like he just had this facade that he was like, you know, he's good at pain tolerance or whatever. But like he was never like coming back earlier than anybody else has ever come
No.
back. Like he knew that was kind of like his thing. You know, he's just showing out a little bit. But like he knew that he wasn't going to play another game, and he was going to have an entire offseason to like milk this. And
Yeah.
Wasn't hugged enough.
Jagger,
as a
you
child.
still with us, man?
That's
what
my theory.
What are you doing
Yeah,
with those three
sorry.
guys?
I'm keeping Devontae Smith. I'm trading.
No.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Oh, still same answer. I'm keeping Devontae Adams. Trading, cutting Cooper Kupp. Who was the third one?
Mike Evans.
I'm keeping, or excuse me, trading Mike Evans, cutting Cooper
Yeah,
Kupp.
that's
I think
fair.
Mike Evans, like he's gonna have value, and he's gonna go to someone like I don't know. Every team wants him. The Bills, the Chiefs, the anybody. I don't give a shit. He's gonna go somewhere that is a contender and catch lots of balls. So I know that's not the best analysis, but it's honest analysis.
Word. I like it. Man, I
Mm.
think I'm content
Who
with
is going
that
to
wide
throw
receiver
balls
show.
to Devontae Adams
Yeah.
this year?
That team scares the shit out of me, dog. Like I don't know.
The Raiders?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna suck.
I mean,
I do have to
I think they're
say
gonna
before we log
suck.
off.
Go.
Do what? I
Wait,
have to talk
what do
about
we-
one thing before we log off. And it's something
oh,
that
say it
Jagger
right now.
posted.
Get it?
Hmm.
Let me hear it.
What?
Put it out there. Go for it.
It was like right before we logged on. You were talking about Worthy and Mitchell and having to catch
Yeah.
passes from Quinn Ewers and
Yeah.
talking about how like Quinn Ewers is part of that puzzle. And there are so many tweets from me watching Big 12 football where I'm like, Quinn Ewers is just sailing fucking passes over his wide
Yeah.
receivers' heads. And
Yeah.
nobody talks about it. And so when I seen your tweet
No,
today,
dude,
God,
it's-
that was redneck.
Mm.
When I saw your tweet today, I was like, oh my God, yes, thank you. I gotta agree with you vocally right now.
Thank you. Yeah, like a lot of people, again, I'm not hating on analytics. That there's a place for it, but especially with wide receivers and vice versa, quarterbacks, you need to look at both of them because it's not always a wide receiver. Like again, I like Quinn Ewers. I think he could be good, and it's good that he stayed another year. But that dude has terrible deep ball accuracy. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Dude, over and over again, sailing passes over Xavier Worthy's head in particular, where it was like Worthy could have made, he would be up there with like the dudes we love in this class.
Mhm.
He had Quinn Ewers playing at even like, I think the very end of last year's Quinn Ewers finally started putting it together. We're talking about 2.5 years of like, oof.
Exactly.
So I just
all
thoroughly
those skill
agreed with that
players
tweet. So I had to bring it up.
Yours, Mitchell, and I'm sorry, with Worthy, Mitchell, and Sanders. Like they all caught passes from Quinn Ewers for 2 years. You know, like, and they're incredibly discounted because everyone that's box score watching and looking at these guys and saying that, you know, they didn't put up production or do anything of noteworthy substance. And it's like, dude, how are they gonna catch half those passes and those balls that were thrown their way?
Every
Lindsay.
Texas game I watched, it was that way. Like watching Worthy, you knew that he entered the NFL draft, you were going to get a discount on him in fantasy football. Like watching it happen in real time was like, people are going to shit on all kinds of things about this guy's game because of what his numbers look like at the end of every game. But I mean, you could feel it happening. You could just feel it because passes were going 9 feet over his head.
Yeah, it's like I'm just as big of a fan of AD Mitchell as well. And I know I saw a chart come out today where they were talking about ADOT and Yak and stuff. And I'm like, you do realize that receivers play different roles in an offense, right? It's
Yeah.
just like when I look at NBA, I don't get pissed off that my power forward doesn't have 10 assists a game, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't make
Right.
any sense, you know?
Yeah, you're not wondering why
Yeah.
your center doesn't have 15 threes, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not the way the game's played. Yeah.
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 Yo, well, that
Yep.
was a great show. I love all you guys. Linda, drop anything that you have coming up. I know that we're almost in redraft season, and I know that you got your kicker rankings coming out and all that good stuff. But all the content you have coming on, or where people can find you, anything that you want to plug, throw it out there.
Find me on Twitter at Lindelians. I don't really do a whole lot of Dynasty content. I like to, dip my toes in rookie takes because it gets the people going. So I'll certainly tweet about it. But content is strictly redraft. So when content season comes around, when redraft season comes around, you can find me on Matthew Berry's fantasylife.com, and my kicker rankings are on there every week.
Yeah, and you're just a good follow. I love just like you're just fun on the timeline. Like you bring it.
Thanks.
And yeah. Dustin, anything that you have going on that you want to plug? You drop on the pod before we go?
Yeah, I'm dropping an interview I did with Dylan Lobby. That'll be coming out tomorrow or Thursday. I did that just a couple hours ago. And then next week I'll be down in the combine, boots on the ground there in person. So check out Twitter for video clips, and hopefully I can snag a few more interviews. And that's what's coming out for me.
Nice. And Jagger, I know you got a lot of stuff going on with football guys and all that. Jazz.
Football Guys rookie guide just dropped. So I'm in the weeds. I'm hip deep in rookie stuff now. Tomorrow I'll be dropping my rankings for running backs. Can't wait for you guys to disagree. So
I love it. And over here at
We're gonna get in a fight
Degens-
on the timeline, Jagger. So just be ready for that.
yes.
Sorry.
No, we are dropping rookie profiler series. So we have rookie profiler series with Josh Larkey. We're going over Brock Bowers and Dylan Lobby, actually. So we're going to be dropping those this week. And then next week I have Jay Stein, and we're doing Caleb Williams and Drake May. So a couple fun things to look out for. And I appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll catch you next week.